I remember the day vividly. It started like any other, a gentle hum of morning activity in our home. My son, Ethan, was a bright and spirited kid, always full of energy and a curious mind. He was, and still is, the light of my life. As a parent, you spend years nurturing, guiding, and teaching, hoping that your children will grow into responsible, kind, and thoughtful individuals. You lay down rules, set boundaries, and expect them to be respected. Most of the time they are. But sometimes a line gets crossed, a boundary pushed so far that it irrevocably shifts the landscape of your family. For us, that day came unexpectedly, with a force that left me reeling. We had a clear rule in our house: no screens after 9 p.m. on school nights. It was a rule we'd established for a long time, and while there were occasional grumbles, Ethan usually adhered to it. It was about ensuring he got enough sleep, had time for homework, and generally maintained a balanced life. We believed in open communication, so we had discussed why this rule was important, emphasizing its benefits for his well-being. He understood. Or so I thought. That particular evening, after dinner, Ethan retreated to his room to finish some homework. I was in the living room, catching up on some reading, enjoying the quiet. Around 9:30 p.m., I walked by his door, which was slightly ajar. I noticed a faint glow emanating from within, a light that wasn't from his desk lamp. My stomach tightened a little. It was a familiar knot, the one that tells you something isn't quite right. I paused, took a deep breath, and pushed the door open gently. There he was, huddled under his covers, the telltale blue light of his tablet illuminating his face. He was clearly engrossed in a game, headphones on, completely oblivious to my presence. My heart sank. It wasn't just that he was using his tablet. It was the deliberate act of hiding it, of breaking a rule he knew well. It wasn't just a minor transgression. It felt like a betrayal of trust. A wave of emotions washed over me. Disappointment, yes, but also a profound sadness. It wasn't about the game itself. It was about the intention behind it. It was the secrecy, the defiance, the disregard for a boundary that was there for his own good. I stood there for a moment, just observing him, trying to compose myself. My initial instinct was to react, to confront him immediately with anger. But I took another deep breath, remembering that reacting in the heat of the moment rarely leads to a productive outcome. When I finally spoke, my voice was calm, though I could feel the tremor in it. "Ethan," I said softly. He jumped, startled, pulling the headphones off and quickly stuffing the tablet under his pillow. His eyes, wide with surprise and a hint of guilt, met mine. The silence that followed was deafening, filled with unspoken words and a palpable tension. "We need to talk," I continued, my voice still measured. I sat down on the edge of his bed, and he sat up, looking at his hands. We talked for a long time that night. It wasn't a lecture, not entirely. It was an exploration of why he felt the need to break the rule, what he was feeling, and how his actions impacted our trust. He mumbled apologies, offered excuses about wanting to finish a level, but the core issue remained. He had chosen to deceive. The conversation was difficult, raw, and deeply emotional for both of us. For me, it wasn't just about the tablet. It was about the erosion of the foundation of trust we had carefully built. It was about him venturing into a territory where he felt he needed to hide things from me, to act covertly. As a parent, that realization is heartbreaking. You want your children to feel safe, to feel they can come to you with anything, even their mistakes. This incident challenged that deeply. The immediate consequence was a loss of screen privileges for a week and a deeper conversation about the importance of honesty and integrity. But the true impact went beyond that. It sparked a necessary reevaluation of our approach to parenting. We realized that while rules are important, the underlying reasons for those rules and the trust that underpins them are even more critical. This wasn't a story about a bad kid or a terrible parent. This was a story about a moment, a boundary crossed, that forced us to confront something profound. It was a moment of growth, albeit a painful one, for our family. It taught me that sometimes the most profound lessons come from the moments of deepest disappointment, and that rebuilding trust is a slow, deliberate, but ultimately rewarding process. It also reinforced the idea that parenting is an ongoing journey of learning, adapting, and forgiving, both our children and ourselves. I hope this story resonated with you. Have you ever experienced a moment when a boundary was crossed that changed everything? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If this true story spoke to you, please consider subscribing to the Silent Truths channel for more discussions on life's profound and often challenging moments.